guys, it's Jennifer from the Shooter's Mindset, and we are live with episode 431. Got our co-hosts here. Greg, how's it going?
Good. How about y'all?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's not Friday yet, though, so it could be better. Corey, how's it going for you?
Oh, I'm so busy. I'm just happy to be here, man.
He literally joined the pre-show from like his car and was like, I'll be home in 8 minutes. So he
I was home in
literally,
exactly 8.
yeah, he held to his word, and he literally walked in his house at 7:58, and here he is live with us now. So super fast, or 6:58 his time.
Yep.
All right, and our guest of the hour, who everybody really wants to hear from tonight, is Brian Conley from Hunters HD Gold. How's it going, Brian?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Jen. Thank y'all for having me again. I think we talked about it. I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 years ago when I was on your show first getting started. And we've come a long way. And going into 2023, a lot of exciting things to talk about and even doing more than we ever thought was possible with the shooting sport. So thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Yeah, y'all have grown a good bit. So for anybody that maybe doesn't know who you are or didn't see our first show, can you kind of give us who you are, how y'all got into this business with the shooting industry? Tell us a little bit about Hunters HD Gold and Ruby and Active Blue and those.
Well, it's kind of crazy, just dumb luck. I inherited some guns back in 2011 when my father-in-law passed away. Never even owned a gun up till then because I was and just been in retail management my entire life pretty much since I was 19 years old. And through that process of getting some guns, I started doing research. I started studying them more and everything else, just, embracing what I had and wanted to learn more about it, and ended up buying some hunting property in 2013. And through that process, 2011 to 2013, I was buying guns like crazy. I became just a normal enthusiast of let's go get this, go get that. And I got addicted to, buying stuff I didn't know what tools it was used for or how it was used, but if something looked good, or something was different, I was buying it and wanted to have a place to go shoot it. So we bought some property in 2013 and hunting property, and went out there and designed my, I was working at Optical Prescription Lab at the time. So on the weekends, I was always out there, and I decided one day I wanted to make myself some shooting lenses for myself, for hunting lenses, not even shooting lenses, just hunting lenses. And I had some goals that I set for myself back in the day that I wanted, to be able to, one, give me 30 minutes more light in the morning, and then give me 30 minutes more light in the evening. Because in the state of Alabama, hunting hours are 30 minutes before sunrise, 30 minutes after sunset. So you could actually, some of those basic time changes, actually dark. So I really wanted to give me extra light during those times. And I also wanted to be able to identify antlers out to 200 yards without binoculars, for being able to see more game faster based on the fire breaks and certain things that were on the property that I was hunting on. You didn't have much time to be looking through binoculars or glass and then put it down and all of a sudden grab your gun. You're seeing the rear end of the deer, go off the field. So had to, faster. And then I like to stalk hunt. So when you're out there in the mornings, everything's getting started and you see stuff moving around, but you know where it's at. Then I like to get out of the shooting house and then go out and walk the property as well and do that. And I wanted to keep the same lens on where it would get darker when I got out of the shooting house. And the lens at the time did not have a name, but the lens I created, solved all those problems. And it became a local thing in just Alabama, just something locally I did. And one thing I found out was in hardwoods, it made the turkey feathers have a little bit of a glow to them. And that made me nervous at the time because I didn't know if that was legal or not. So called some local game wardens. Oh, this is true. I called some local game wardens that I wanted to come check it out. And Darren Clifton, who's now retired, he came to the property, and I gave him and 2 of his other people some pair of Hunters HD, well, just a pair of shooting lenses that I made, wouldn't have a name yet, to wear. And I said, is this legal? And they said, yeah, this is legal. And today, the game wardens in Lamar County are still using which we now know as Hunters HD Gold lens to do their jobs when there's no light at all. They can still use them and see shadows, because don't know if you've ever studied or know how game wardens work. They usually get up there before the sun comes out because they've had hints. They've had somebody call in and say, hey, somebody's hunting here illegally. And they set up before, way before like 2 or 3 in the morning and just wait all night
Yeah.
until they come. And it's, that's their job to do, is to protect the game and protect the environment through that. So I don't have a problem with that. If you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong. But then, to make a long story short, I got involved in cowboy shooting with a guy named Larry Joe Steely, who was came to my property, and him and his brother and nephew paid for a hunt on the property that we'd met. And they didn't know what everything the lenses were, and got them some. And then I was doing cowboy action shooting with Larry Joe Steely one day. And he says, Brian, you really got something with these lenses. You need to come up with a name or something. I don't like this paint. And then Larry Joe Steely went on to create Steel Target paint, and I created Hunter's HD Gold soon after that, based on him telling me I need a name and a logo, because he had found out about Steel Challenge Shooting Association, wanting me to sponsor his team. And I said, I don't have a logo or a name. So after about 2 weeks of working with his marketing director, we came up with what we now know today is Hunter's HD Gold, and the logo some of the logo that we still use today. So, we've been very lucky to get into this, because like I said, had no idea any of this was even available. And Hunter's HD Gold is great for, hunting, action shooting sports, golf, driving during the day or night. It blocks blue light, so it's great for computer lenses, and of course, long range shooting. And we tested a lot of different things with long range shooting, which we'll get into in a little bit later. But by listening to shooters on the shotgun side of the world, we created Hunter's HD Ruby. And Ruby was used for all the shotgun sports. It's made for skeet, shooting, trap, five stand, all the stuff they do in shotgun sports, because it makes green go away, and it makes orange light up in the sky like it's on fire. So it's a really neat lens we created for the shotgunners. And, there's a small percentage of people out there that like the Hunter's HD Ruby for shooting their red dots in bright sunlight only. But the stuff I mentioned before that Hunter's HD Gold is for, Hunter's HD Ruby is not for that, because in low light situations or driving, it's on the website, don't use these for driving because it makes the green light disappear. It's not good.
Yeah.
And we did that. I think we rolled that out, later on, 2 years later after Hunter's HD Gold. And this past August, we just released a new lens called Active Blue. And Active Blue is a lens that in low light or no light situations, a light sapphire color. And then when it changes, it goes into a dark mirror finish where you can't see your eyes, real dark, and it goes into a variable polarized state, which is great for fishing, cycling, marathons, race car drivers like it, mountain biking, kayaking, canoeing. But the best thing about it is that when it's fully polarized, you can still see your electronics on your phone, your iPad, or anything else that you can't do with conventional polarized lenses. So that's the newest thing we came out with. And, we've been making lenses since 1977 that my wife's mother started. So we know lenses, and we know what we're doing with lenses and the technology. We stay on top of technologies, and being able to roll that out now to the competitive shooters, the shotgunners, and now even people that have active lifestyles is pretty exciting for us. So long story and a short, thing there. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I think one
Yeah,
thing I
those-
really love about y'all's stuff is that you can put them in any frames. And so if you are looking online and you're like, I mean, those frames are okay, but I have these favorite frames. Like me, I wear children's Oakleys. That's what fits my face. Everything else makes me look like a bug. And so these are children, literally my eyeglasses are children's because my face is so little. But when I got my HD Golds, I just told Brian, well, I really like my Oakley frames. And he's like, send me the lenses out of them and I'll make you some. And so my HD Golds just pop into my lenses, and then I'm getting a little older, so my prescription changes. So when it changes, I just send the new prescription, and then he can make me new lenses.
Yeah, and we rolled out Hunter's HD Gold Custom right after Ruby or right before Ruby. I can't even remember. I got my calendar timeline here somewhere, but listening to shooters, and our frames have come a long way. You know, when I first got started, they were,
Yeah.
everything was a safety frame. There's not a lot out there that's a Z87 +1 or +2 that's a nice looking safety frame. They're designed to be more industrial. They're designed for what they are. And through the past 5 or 6 years now, talking to other frame manufacturers, been able to work together to create some frames that we have now, that we just rolled out some new ones last week, the Slingshot and the Marksman, which would be great. The Marksman will be great for PRS because it has an adjustable nose piece. So if you have to get down in weird situations, you can adjust the nose piece in. It pulls the frame up higher, so you're not looking at the frame, won't get in the way. So the Marksman is actually designed for, PRS and long range shooting and other things as well. So we've come a long way in our frames from when we first got started, which we'll see in a little bit.
So you've come a long way with them. Why do you think that we still have so many people not wearing eye pro at the range? Because I know before it was, it wasn't convenient. I can't see, it's too dark. You're wearing sunglasses, you get down behind the scope, can't see, you pull them off so you can see through your scope, but y'all have got such versatility in your lenses now. Why do you think people are still skipping the eye pro?
Well, I took about 2 hours today. And I started just searching a Google search of why people don't wear glasses and shooting. I typed in hunting, I typed in long range, got a lot of things, but it all goes back to the same thing. One is education. So education is one, but education from safety hunters courses, they talk about eyewear on day one of your hunting safety course. So I don't mean education from a point of you should be wearing eyewear. I mean education of the point that nobody's talking about what lenses do. And that's one reason I say education, which we'll get into more in a second. The biggest reason I see of people that don't wear it is people have the preconception of like, hey, I bought $2,000 to $5,000 glass or even higher. Why do I want to put something in front of my eyes that is just basic stuff that, one, if the range requires it, they're just handing out cheap, clear, polycarbonate or plastic, and or getting stuff they got at Home Depot or Lowe's or from a full source safety store. They just don't know the technologies out there. And other thing I've seen is fogging issues, and we have a solution for that as well. So there's advantages to having Hunter's HD Gold on, and that's where we're different with what sets us apart from everybody else. We'll get into that whenever you're ready, but the biggest thing is I wouldn't even be here right now if the eye doctors across the United States were actually talking to their patients about what they do besides just need eyeglasses because insurance is going to cover this and leave. That's where the education part is. I don't think doctors and optometrists, ophthalmologists, however you want to label them, are not doing the public justice by not talking about all the technology that's out there. And that's what I mean by education. Because if this was something where, you went to your eye doctor, Jen, all of a sudden, and the doctor says, well, what do you do, besides, just need glasses for work? Well, you could say, well, I'm a competitive shooter. I do a lot of running. I do a lot of, I play golf. There's a lot of things there that would be beneficial to have multiple pairs of glasses. Now, saying that, that could get very expensive as well. So, but when you look at some of the guns, especially in PRS, adding, you got your gun, either somebody made it for them, Masterpiece Arms does a lot, those guns are not cheap. And then you start getting into glass that Vortex offers or anything else, you're looking at something that can easily be $10,000 to $15,000 for your tool to go shoot PRS. And if you think about it, and then all of a sudden, well, heck, if I went to my doctor and I wanted to get something that was $500 or $700, you wouldn't think twice about it because your doctor told you you educated you on what you need.
Yeah.
what we've done is, this is why I travel to so many matches, is to educate people about lenses, because there's a lot of advantages that Hunter's HD Gold lenses have over the competition to dominate, for lenses being just second to none. And we're very proud of that, because there's a lot of great frame companies out there. You know, we all know them, we've all wore them. You've even mentioned one tonight. A lot of great frame companies, but these companies don't specialize in lenses. And that's the difference. I don't care about frames. That's why I started doing custom. I got some stuff I have to use as a carrier, but I'm a lens manufacturer that stays up on the top technology and doesn't, you know, anything new comes out. We're an independent lab. We've got all the materials you hear people talk about. We carry the Zeiss, we carry the Verilux you see on TV, we carry the Shamirs, the Hoyas, you know, everything from that's made in Germany, Israel, Mexico, and IoT out of California. There's everything we have at our disposal that we use. And that's what sets Hunter's HD Gold apart, being independent. But the biggest thing is Trivex. And Trivex is our base material. You've heard of plastic lenses, you've heard of polycarbonate, but Trivex is lighter and stronger than plastic or polycarbonate, but allows 43% more light to your eyes than clear polycarbonate. That's a game changer when it comes to getting behind glass that costs $4,000 to $5,000.
Yeah. The easiest thing that I ever saw that really showed me why you would want to wear a quality lens was a guy had, it's a little magnifier that's set up between the eye and between the turret, so you could magnify the numbers on the turret.
Mhm.
And when you're talking about like quality of glass, right, you need a prescription to see the numbers on your turret, right? Okay, so you know where to dial. You're going to need that same prescription, and you're going to need it to be a good pair of glass to see the reticle in your scope. You can only do so much with a diopter.
Right. Well, and the diopter, it's funny. I made a couple of phone calls today to some of our mutual friends, and you know, the diopter is what, you know, you get to a certain point on the lens when you don't
Yeah.
have glasses on, and then the diopter, you know, it stops at the lenses. That diopter is designed for making it better with wearing glasses or wearing an eye pro.
Right.
That's
Right.
the whole thing. But you know, Greg, do you have that picture of Gray Farnsworth that I sent you? Because this is funny. When I first got started with Hunter's HD Gold, if Greg could find that picture to post, she works for Swarovski Optics. And the very first backdrop I had with Hunter's HD Gold in 2018 was Gray actually going prairie dog hunting and using Hunter's HD Gold with her Z8i. Now, if you remember this,
Yeah.
I had this backdrop for the entire year, and that
Mhm.
backdrop tells a story, because she's wearing my lenses in the old caliber frames. So we still carry. I've tried to discontinue those 7 times, but people still buy them. But with a Z8i, and she, you know, she gives feedback to me back when I first got started back in this picture's from 2016. This is a year and a half before I even had a name for the lens. Like when I just had people in Alabama, I met her at a Steyr open house where she was selling, you know, Swarovski optics to Steyr, which is here in Birmingham. And another picture that Greg has is another gentleman I worked with, that is Eduardo April de Funcubaterra. I'm allowed to say his name, but he is one of the founders of King of the 2 Miles. And I worked with him. I met him back in the day in 2017, in August 2017. And there he is. He's wearing Hunter's HD Gold lenses himself, and he, you know, shoots up to 2 miles, you know, there's competition. And I don't know what kind of optics he's got there. It looks like a Swarovski as well. But my point being is, before we even got started in the competitive shooting world, we started off working with people in long range and letting people try the lenses to see how they work. And that's how we got started, which is kind of funny. We're coming full circle tonight in 2023 to talk about it all over again. So
I think it's good that that picture that was just up, I don't know if you can pop it back up, Greg, but it's a really good example of how dark these glasses get, which is
Yes.
one of my favorite things about them. Because now that I'm blind, I have to wear glasses all the time. And if I just had regular sunglasses, I would have to, if it got cloudy, I'd have to change back to these so I could see. So the fact that it goes back to where when it's a little more dim, you can see it, and then it just transitions as it gets brighter, and they get as dark as they are in this picture here. So
The best thing is you don't notice they're getting that dark. They
Yeah.
keep the same
Yeah.
light from early morning to mid-afternoon to evening. You don't know they're getting darker, and you don't have any eye fatigue at the end of the day. Because another benefit of Trivex and everything that we do to the lens, they block UVA, UVB, and blue light 100%. There's videos on the Hunters HD Gold website where we show that compared to other dyes. So, that it's just all about education. But talking about Trivex again, we're the only, mainstream provider of eyewear out there that's advertising and using Trivex like we are. And it's more expensive than polycarbonate. So I understand why certain companies don't use it. And I also know that Trivex has to be, worked from a hockey puck like we do at the lab, one at a time. It can't be stamped out hundreds at a time like other lenses are. And that's an advantage that we have at the lab with the technology and all the coatings that we put on the lens to block extra light and everything we do. Each lens is made one at a time and, touched by 15 different people before it actually get fitted into a frame. So it's a whole manufacturing process that we do at the lab. And the Abbey value is just it's like I said, 43% better than clear plastic. So brings a lot of light to your eyes. So, and something else, we talked about as well before, but all dyes are not equal. I brought it up, a while ago. We use a medical dye on the Hunters HD Gold lenses, and the Ruby and the Active Blue all have their own line of medical dyes. But the medical dye we use for the Hunters HD Gold is used to treat SAD, seasonal affective disorder, and also used to slow down some of the other eye diseases that are out there. There's no cure for some of the stuff that's out there, but it's so healthy for your eyes that it does slow down some eye ailments that are out there that are, that can't be fixed. So there's a lot of stuff we do to the lens in-house. And like I said, hunters, we know that the name is the lens was made for hunters. The HD is for high definition because we use a high definition generator to cut each lens with a 12 head diamond cutter that cuts each lens down to the 0.001 millimeter. That's a lot. That's very detailed around all the cones and everything around the eye. That helps with no, when you take a lens, sometimes you do this, you have different movement. There is no shift in the object you're looking at. If there is any shift, that's considered a manufacturer's defect, and you send it back to us, we replace it for free. They're not supposed to do that at any point of the lens. It's supposed to be the same. So
yeah, and that's huge for our sport and PRS when you're in different positions and you're still looking through that same optic.
Yep.
You can't have that shift like you're talking about.
Oh, and Hunters HD Gold, we've got a small percentage of people out there as well, like yourself, Corey, that gets out there in some distances where the gold affects, gray targets based on because it's been shot up a lot and then blends in with the back.
Yeah.
And we've made, we can make anything. And we've made you some that are actually clear without the gold dye that allows you to pick up targets on different ranges that you go to. So we haven't seen a reason yet to advertise that yet, but more and more, as we get more and more involved in PRS, if somebody says, the goal's just not getting it past, 700 yards, then we have a solution for something else past the 700 yards. And I pretty much know it works good up to 600 because the CMP here in Talladega is my home range, and I'm out there all the time on, what I'm doing in different lighting conditions, basically shooting an apple at 400, 600 yards, dialed in. And I love shooting long range, but when you get in different, they also got a range with non-marked range on what it's called something else, but basically a yardage range where you can shoot up to, I think, 800 yards, and you got to figure out the yardage yourself. And, but for PRS, like Hunters HD Gold, majority of the time, that's your lens. 90% of the time, that's your lens. And, when it comes to fogging issues, we got a solution for that. Every pair we give away now, or every pair we sell, comes with Z Clear. And it's a paste that you put on the inside of the lens, let it dry, buff it off, and no fogging 3 to 5 days. But a way to fix your fogging on most of your lenses is when you first get to the range early in the morning, put your eyewear on. I don't care what kind of eyewear you're wearing. It doesn't matter. Put your eyewear on first thing in the morning. It can be basic stuff you've got from Home Depot. If you put it on first thing in the morning, your body heat is going to warm that lens up. And then when you get on that first stage, and that timer goes off and your heart rate goes from 87 to 130, you're not going to fog up that lens because that lens is already warmer. So there's a little hint for you based on whatever eyewear you use. Put it on when you get out of the car and wear it all day. So,
yeah.
And that's
For
true
those of
if-
us that have traveled to a match and left the AC on in the morning, you get out and it's like 100% humidity and 80 degrees. That goes for scopes too. Let all your glass breathe.
yeah, and the Z Clear that we give away also works great on optics and scopes. Works really good. So to help from fogging. But I would love to, if there's other objections out there to wearing eyewear on the range, because everybody, when I went to like 17 different forums today, looking at people's feedback, everybody says the same thing. I know I should be wearing these, but, and then have their excuse not to wear them. So, it's unfortunate that I would hate to even say this, but somebody is basically going to have an injury or something where their gun's gonna, there's so many things that Hunter's HD Go protects you from, or any eyewear, any eye pro protects you from.
Right.
Suppressors are being used a lot now in PRS, and there's blowback sometimes that you get from suppressors. There's dust, there's all kinds of things, sand that gets blown around if it's real windy.
I've been laying prone next to somebody before when they line us up prone and they haven't cleaned a brake in
that one
like forever. And so they pull the trigger and a piece of carbon comes flying off their brake into my face. So
it's a lot with education. And that's why, when I sponsor so many, even PRS matches now, and I want to do more, and I hope this platform gets a lot more people to reach out to me to sponsor more matches, is we offer the discounts for them. Because when somebody says, that's another education part, well, I can get safety glasses for $7 to $150, just I get these issued to me and it's less than $100. That's fine. And when, you look at the Hunter's HD Gold price point, when the MSRP starts at, not started, is $375 with or without a prescription, there's a lot of people that just go, whoa, I don't understand. And then, once they map pricing is $300 for non-prescription, but once if they go to their doctor, I had this happen a lot. People go to their doctor and they want to get the ingredients that are on the Hunter's HD Gold website. I put it out there. They can go to the doctor and talk about getting it made. And they come back every time being $550 up without a prescription. So we are truly, being the lab, we're truly selling wholesale direct, because all the technology that we use on these lenses at Hunter's HD Gold through Optical Prescription Lab, you just can't go buy at your local fish and game store. They're not there. You have to actually go to your doctor to get this kind of technology. And, when a prescription costs $375, and I have customers weekly tell me, I just paid $1,200 for these. And I'm like going, yeah, you can buy 3 or 4 pair for our price of one prescription lenses. And we've got a progressive digital design that we use, which is a no-line bifocal, which is almost recreates single vision. It's incredible. And the feedback we get over and over again from our prescription is, your prescription lenses are better than what I order from my doctor. And that's amazing. And the feedback I get usually from y'all and other shooters is, I forget I'm even wearing them. And that's even a better, testimony. You forget you even have them on.
Yeah.
Greg is famous for that. We go out to eat and I'm like, you still have your 500 D golds on? He's like, oh, I do.
But so being able to make a prescription, like, that's the easy part. We've been doing that, like I said, for over, since 1977. The hard parts, you choosing a frame. That's usually what we run into. And we have solutions for that. If anybody goes to the Hunters HD Gold website, fills out the form, I send them back all the instructions, but basically you pick out frames off the website. We send them to you, get to try them at the privacy of your home, and then mark the pupils with somebody sitting in front of you at the dinner table. It's not rocket science. You send them back to us with your prescription, and it takes 2 or 3 days to make them. And if you're a first time buyer of Hunters HD Gold, you don't even pay for them until we make them for you, and you get to try them before you buy them with your prescription. And there's nobody else that does that in the industry, or no doctor's office. Just we're it. There's nobody else that does that. So that, and we don't, our reviews on Google prove it. I don't want to have your money unless we know you're happy with the product, period. And that's how I work. So
As the shooter's mindset, we're not the shooter's mindset brought to you by, we don't have many affiliations, and even companies that, we're big fans of, you very seldom will hear us say, this is the best of this product, this is the best of this product. But I'm pretty sure all three of us will hands down say that Hunter's HD Gold is the best thing to ever have on your eyes when you're on the range.
And I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, more than you know. And it's just, I want people, that's why I travel. I'm at matches almost every weekend, and I go there, and everybody, vendors, a lot of vendors go for different reasons, but I'm there to educate people about lenses. And when I go to matches, I give away free demos for people to use. They shoot the whole match, and they bring them back to me at the end of the match. And it's a great way, for people to try it. And we're working on a program, hopefully that may be out sometime later this year, where we can actually do that from people reaching out to us and actually, sending samples out for them to try before they even buy it without a prescription as well. We're still working on that. A lot of logistics are involved, and having a lot of frames involved is a big deal. But being able to reach new areas, even with all the certificates we put out there to get, Hunters HD Gold for as low as $175 with a prescription, which is a really, really good deal, is a way to get out there and try it yourself with all the certificates we put out there. But if it's got 2 lenses, we can pretty much make it. We still can't make the single face shields.
Oh, no pit vipers.
Well, the Pit Viper has some frames that has 2 lenses. I've made some Pit
Yeah.
Vipers.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
I've seen them and they're epic.
yeah. There's some very popular shooters out there that use them in low light, very rainy days, and that we made some Pit Vipers for. There are people that are very known for wearing Pit Vipers. And I checked into the single face shield type stuff because a lot of people asked me, will I be able to do that? Well, I contacted the company that created Trivex up in Pennsylvania, PPG Industries, and I asked them if I could, injection molding was available for the Trivex material, and they gave me a very stern no. And researching more into that is because Trivex, when it was first created, is used for the cockpits of fighter jets and other things that are made for the military, based on the acuity allowing 43% more light through the lens than regular polycarbonate type glass. So that's the reason they won't release it to be injected molded like that. So that's a good thing, because that means other competitions out there of the eyewear industry can't get Trivex either, unless they're doing they're doing the same manufacturing process I'm doing. So, and like I said, there's a lot of great frame companies out there. And my flag tonight is not wear Hunters HD Gold when you shoot PRS. My flag tonight is wear eye protection when you shoot PRS, and educate yourself what's out there. Because Three Gun Kinsey, her very well, does my marketing.
Yeah.
And Corey, as well. You go to a lot of matches and eyewear is not even being worn. And that's, to me, is not acceptable, because I think it's just an education process. But if something bad happens, you realize the eyeball is the least protected organ in the entire body.
Oh, yeah.
You think about that and start reading more into it. I don't want to scare you into eye protection, but you got a major organ on your body that you don't have protection, but your eyelids, and that's not much
Yeah.
protection either if you get a big blast against you. So,
Well, for some of us, I mean, we make our living with our eyes, right? As a scientist, I'm constantly using them in my job. Pretty much everyone uses their eyes in their work. And I've seen, like Jen said, carbon come off a brake. I've seen case heads blow up, seen all sorts of gas gun resizing issues. And no matter whether a guy takes one in the eyebrow and is bleeding, he's got his sunglasses on his hat. Like, you can put those on, like you can wear them.
we just
But
had they commented on Facebook how to get a certificates. Find out a way, Greg, tonight, and let's draw some names of people that are commenting and stuff. Put something together, and let's give away some certificates tonight. This is we didn't discuss this in the pre-show, but let's definitely get some people out there some certificates who have not tried Hunter's HD Go before. So put something together. Good luck. Whatever you want to do.
All right. So the
but-
best way to do this and how we're going to do this is you are to share this live stream. You have to share it someplace where I can see it. So if your profile's set to private or it's a private, whatever group where I can't see that you shared it, I obviously can't give you credit for that. But we will everybody share away. You can share as many times as you want. We'll look and see how many shares we have by the end of the show. And we'll do a random number generator and figure out share number X. So share this as many times as you want to be entered.
Count the shares because I may have let's see what we can do by the end of the show and what we can do. I'm excited to do that. But
while we're still on the lives, there was one other one. Tyler tuned in a little bit late and he asked what's the best color lens for PRS?
Hunter's HD Gold. And that based on what we've seen, based on feedback of hunters, long range enthusiasts, and people in PRS, just like yourself watching the show tonight, that's what they enjoy. Like I said, there is a small percentage of people that get in certain situations over 600 yards that won't clear. Once they get Trivex, they won't ever go back to polycarbonate. I've made Corey some situations, and I can make clear lenses as well. And using clear lenses with the technology and everything else, if there's something, the beautiful thing about being on the PRS show tonight, Shooter's Mindset, is I work with shooters. If I have a shooter that comes to me, and Corey knows this, and we can't, Hunter's HD Gold is not it, then we have to find a solution, and I don't give up easily. I think Corey knows that as well. We're going to find a solution for the shooting sports, and that's what it's all about. So being able to do that, and actually, I tell people all the time, you now have a personal lab to work with to get your needs. It may not be offered to everybody. It may not be the next color that's out there, but I've got some people I've made a purple for. I've got some people that I've made a green for because they're welders. There's different scenarios for every individual. No eyeball is the same. But when it comes to the masses, I do know, and I've had enough feedback to know that Hunter's HD Gold is that lens. If you want to keep the same lighting all day long from daybreak to sunset, that's your biggest advantage is Hunter's HD Gold.
Yeah. And how much I shoot, and I think I got my first pair in like 2020, and they are still my go-to lens that I put on every single time I go out to practice. And the biggest pain in the butt that used to happen was when you get half clouds and then the sun would come out, half clouds, and then you go to the shoot house stage. No more, doesn't matter. Like
our
10,
slogan,
15, 30 seconds, they're perfect every lighting condition.
Yep. And our slogan that we came up with back when we first got started, and my wife helped me actually come up with this slogan, is they change so you don't have to. And that was definitely a jab at other lens manufacturers or other frame manufacturers that you have to change out the lenses to based on the lighting.
Mm-hmm.
That was it was a perfect. I went to NRA when it was in Atlanta, and I went there for one thing in mind, was to try to design a slogan for Hunter's HD Gold. And driving back from Atlanta, talking to my wife about different things, I come up and she goes, "They changed so you don't have to." I said, this is why you own the company. So we've been using that slogan ever since because it tells a story. So, yeah, once you get used to wearing them, when you first put them on, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to notice a yellowish green hue for about 6 minutes. And after that 6 minutes, it goes away and you really don't notice it anymore based on the medical dye that we use. And I haven't wore a clear lens in over 6 years, if that tells you anything. So
I don't even notice it. I mean, I put mine on sitting here at my computer. I don't notice it.
Oh, you will notice Hunter's HD Gold hue sometimes if you're a photographer. And because it will change the hue a little bit on the color. And that's another reason why we came out with active blue as well, because photographers love it. Because when it goes polarized in that blue, it doesn't change the hues of the photography. And being polarized, you can still see all the controls that you have on your camera. So Corey's experienced that, I believe, as well. So
Oh, Brian, there's so much to say when you're taking pictures and you don't have to do this and flip off your glasses and this and flip off your glasses every single time you want to look at the screen. Yeah.
That is the truth.
But go ahead. But I really appreciate it. We discussed what we discussed so far, especially around the prescription side of it, because that's what we specialize in. And in the PRS, I've been to one PRS match before, and I've got to do more. And I've seen there's all different people there from young to old. And if you have a prescription, I can tell you right now, if you're not wearing Hunter's HD Gold with your current prescription, you're not doing yourself justice. Especially in PRS.
So we're about at the midpoint of the show. Remember, if you're watching us live on Facebook, ask any questions you may have in the comment section of the video. We'll ask it live on air. Other ways to catch us, you can always check back on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. The videos stay up there forever. And we usually upload to all the podcast apps the night after the show. Then finally, everything eventually ends up on the Shooter's Mindset YouTube page. So that's a great place to look up past episodes. Also, in case you missed it, we're giving away some sort of search here at the end of the show for some awesome glasses. And we're going with people that have shared this live stream publicly. So share it around and you could win some glasses.
Yep.
So you talked about that you are kind of on the scene for 3-gun matches and you kind of want to get into more of the, precision rifle matches, NRL 22 matches. So you do a lot for the shooting sports, but you're kind of wanting to get into that. So if a match director wanted to reach out to you and talk through, getting your support for a match, how would they go about doing that?
Well, I'll sponsor any match that reaches out to me. And I made a really easy way to sponsor matches. If you go to the Hunters HD Gold website, there's a tab called Sponsorship Inquiries. You fill out those 7 questions. It basically tells me where to send the certificates to and to get involved. And that's what we're doing right now with so many things. We just had our newsletter come out today, and I don't remember how many matches we're sponsoring just in February alone. And if you're not getting the Hunters HD Gold newsletter, by all means, when you go to the website, there's a place to click there to get the newsletter, because we support the shooting sports. We do a lot around so much. If you're pulling the trigger and there's a timer involved, I want to know about it and I want to be a part of it. So, being the official eyewear of the USPSA, the official eyewear of the Steel Challenge Shooting Association, the Metal Madness Shooting Sports Association, and this year we just announced January 3rd, I believe, that we're now the official eyewear for the Single Action Shooting Society. So Cowboy Shooters.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I want to get more involved with all the shooting sports and diversifying into PRS and everything else. We do a lot with PRS, don't get me wrong, but there's more to be done. And there's a lot more events to hopefully get on the calendar to get to, because there's only so many weeks in the year. But if you're holding PRS matches in Florida in November, December, January, February, I'm usually in Florida a lot for those 4 months. So hint, hint, wink, wink. You do a PRS match in Florida, there's a daggum good chance I'm going to be there.
Yeah. So your newsletter, 18 matches in February alone, but you are at MDT Frostbite. So that's a good match. I
Yes.
like it.
Yep. Yeah. And we're reaching more and more by, what we're doing through the process of being able to sponsor more matches the way we do. We're not the conventional sponsor right now because we're still a growing company. We've grown a lot over the past 5 years, and I contribute a lot of that success to the USPSA allowing me to be on their platform and be the official hour to help get my name out there. But through other sports that we've been going through to use and be a part of, it's really been great to educate more and more people about what I'm doing and what we're doing, to promote the shooting sports as a whole.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing that I know is the Magical Mystery Tour.
Yes.
How did the Magical Mystery Tour start? And like,
It-
what is it at the basic level, and then like the epic level that you took it to?
I listen to shooters and I watch shooters, because I don't have time to shoot any competitions. I've shot some small stages or small stuff. I think I shot the World Series Falling Steel last year because I
Yeah.
came in a day early for setup and everything else. And usually people come a day early to walk through stages, and there was nobody that came through the walk through stages. And I said, well, I guess I'm going to shoot today. So that was fun. But what started it was back in 2018 at USPSA 9 days of nationals. And what I mean by that is I was listening and I noticed if somebody had a gun break, and it happened a lot in Steel Challenge as well, but more, USPSA was like, okay, this is different. There were people loaning guns. There was people doing a lot to help other shooters stay in the sport. So the next year in 2019, throughout that next year, I started buying guns for two reasons. One, I like guns, but two,
Like guns.
but two, I wanted to have guns that could be used in competition and that people could use. And I started off buying a lot of rimfire guns and PCCs for Steel Challenge. So through the years I started doing this, manufacturers started finding out about it. I'm very lucky to work with some great manufacturers that actually have sent me guns at no charge to promote their new gun. Like for example, the JP5. I think you got one of the first ones. I think mine was the fourth one off the assembly line, and it was given to me to give out to everybody to let them shoot it like crazy. And I was actually some of the feedback I actually gave JP at the time was the mags, those clear mags. I can't think of the name brand of them, but they're very
ETTS.
yeah. And they, I went back to JP and the other guy and I said, these mags don't work in your gun. He says, why would somebody be buying an $8 magazine and a $3,000 gun? I said, they do, and they are. And
They do, and they are.
He goes, all right, send the rifle back to me and send me some of those damn mags. I said, yes, sir. And that, and then 3 weeks later, it takes those mags. So that was a neat way to be able to work with a manufacturer to be able to do that. So some of the guns I've bought, some of the guns I've got on some great discounts, and some of the guns are, very graciously were given to me to take around to help promote the new release of guns. And I feel very honored to be able to do that. Worked with Dissonant Arms on some things in the 3-gun world and AK world and some other great companies out there with IWI as well, to be able to put some guns out there that not everybody sees all the time. And from there, I started carrying accessories. I started having some little like holsters with me. I started having this with me. And then there's a friend of mine that we all know who I told him, I said, if your wife ever decides to get rid of this van, let me know, I'll buy it. And sure enough, right before, I don't remember, I think COVID or right after, he calls me up and says, she's getting a brand new van. You want to buy this van? I was like, damn, I'm not ready to spend that much money, but yeah, I am.
I feel that.
So they made me a great deal on it. And then during that time of COVID, I was able to build out this entire showroom that you see me traveling with to be able to support the shooting sports. There's batteries in there that
Yep.
I charge for. If your optic goes out and you're at a match because of battery, you come to the Hunters HD Go Magical Mystery Tour. There's a whole safe area in there based on USPSA rules and other rules as well. I'm sure I found out Metal Mad's the same way. But you can actually go in there. I've got tools by Real Avid. The company Real Avid has been very gracious to stock my van with all these work tools and everything else. And you can go in there and change your battery optic out for free.
Yep.
And I've got fiber optics in there. You can change your fiber out for free. I've got now I've got magazines and belts and holsters by Ghost. We just teamed up with Ghost this year. So Ghost
Oh,
holsters
nice.
is real big behind the product. And 99% of the optics are in there by Vortex because
Yeah.
Vortex, Ruben came to me and wanted to, he goes, liked what I was doing and like, would you mind if we support you with optics for your guns? I was like, sure. That's wonderful. So I carry all these tools. If you come to me needing something for your gun when it breaks, either I've got a gun for you to use or I've got something to fix it. And that's what it's all about, keeping the people in the sport. We had a lot of guns that were loaned out this past weekend at the CZ IPSC Extreme because there were people that came in from other countries. And I actually had and one person came to me and they asked, they said, by any chance you got 38 Super Comp? And I said, yes, I do. Because I went to Elite and I had this entire huge box of 38 Super Comp because they didn't have enough based on the round counts because his wife was shooting with them. I gave them this ammo to use. And they said, how much? I said, this is yours. And because I worked out a deal with Ely back in the day where if I bought one case, they gave me another case. Not rocket science, but I have ammo to give away when people were in a situation. And because of that, it worked out because two people from the Philippines ended up buying Hunters HD Gold. That's good too, right? So, but I didn't charge them for the ammo because I'm there to support the shooting sports. And that's what has made the Magical Mystery Tour so successful. And people ask me all the time, they're like, you sleep in this thing? I'm like, oh, no, I do a podcast from the front. They're like, what? I'm like, I'll go open the front door and show them. It's a whole studio in there where I do the Hunters HD Go Behind the Lens podcast from. So, it's definitely a tool that with all the shooting sports I've worked with, besides cowboy action shooting, I haven't took it to a cowboy action shooting match yet. Because that's just, I've got some wheel guns here I'm gonna be putting in there, I guess, when I go. So I got some stuff to do. But to be able to, highlight, new optics that are getting ready to come out. I just got a deal worked out with Canik. I'm going to have Canik's full line of guns in there pretty soon with a bunch of stuff. They're coming out with a Rival SSX, I don't know all the numbers, but I learned more about the guns as well to let other people shoot. So if there's certain guns you haven't shot before and there's a demo range, there you're allowed, come by there, bring your bag. I'll send you with a gun and some ammo and go shoot a gun. Go shoot. I got an Infinity. If you never shot an Infinity before or Masterpiece Arms, here's some ammo. Go shoot it. Then go buy it. It's kind of like a try it before you buy it kind of thing. Even with guns when I travel around. So it's a way to give back to the shooting sports and to help grow the shooting sports. Because if you spend a lot of money going to a major match, just like these people did coming to the IPSC Extreme, and all of a sudden you don't have 38 Super Comp, you're not just going down to the local store buying 38 Super Comp.
Right. Yeah.
I made somebody's vacation time where they could actually enjoy their vacation and they had ammo to shoot the entire match. That's the kind of people that want to tell more people about the shooting sports. And if they tell more people about Hunters HD Gold in the process, that's a win-win for everybody, right?
Do me a favor. If you see us at a match, my husband and I, don't let us shoot the MPA.
Yeah, I've got two of them. I've got one for Steel Challenge and I got open.
Because I'm broken, then I will have to buy two of them. Because I know he wants one and I want one. And if we shoot it, we're just done. So then our household will have to buy two of them. So.
Let me get something real quick. So if I come to a PRS match, hold on one second.
Yeah. But for people wondering, yes, this workspace is set up, it is built out, it is much better than using just the range bench. If you have an issue and the tour is there, definitely go there, because even if Brian doesn't have what's going to fix it, he literally will hand you a gun.
So,
Oh,
so when I come to a PRS match, I'll have one of these with me as well if you need to use one. So this is my PRS gun, an SSGM1. So with an Accutech bipod. I don't know whose suppressor this is, but it's a good one.
Of course.
And of course, the Vortex.
He's like, I don't know whose it is.
The Vortex Viper. So it's
Yeah, I have an MPA rifle, but their pistols are really sweet.
well, this is a Steyr, SSGM1. So it's
that looks
just
fun.
for everybody. So I had to show up. So I'm ready for a PRS match, and I will have my.
That's too fun.
I guess I should have figured out how to hang out on the wall behind me before I sat down, but it had took up the entire wall. PRS guns are not light.
They are not.
When you pack the back of a truck with one and you're sitting there and each of those rifles is 25 pounds and you have to walk them out and walk them back in and walk them out and back in. I wish I would have done run and gun. Way lighter sport.
I'm sweating now from just carrying it from the other side of the gun room. It's crazy. Just out of shape.
Corey, what's the most PRS rifles you've bought to a match before?
This past match, because I had some. So Prentice and I have accumulated, I think, 8 22s and around 8 center fire rifles, but I took all the 22s home from our January match and cleaned them and played some musical scopes so we could get these new logoed turrets on the Mark V's. So we have Texas Precision logos and all the Parallax now. So I think I had 16 rifles in my truck. And it was a colossal pain in the ass. It's worth it. Because we had demos, we had loaners, we had everything out.
But I'm at matches all over the United States. And if you ever want to, if you're not shooting USPSA Steel Challenge, Metal Madness, or Cowboy Action Shooting, but if I'm going to be in the area, stop by and see what I've got and see what I'm doing, because you can find my schedule of events is on the Hunters HG Gold website as well, the tab right before sponsorship inquiries. So update it pretty much every month that I can. And I'm trying to do a lot more up the East Coast this year with some matches. So I'm going to be easy to find. So if you don't shoot one of the action shooting sports that I'm at, or if not at a PRS match, if you know I'm in the area, definitely come by and see what I'm doing and see where I'm at. Mike Sexton, bring that to Clinton House. Yeah, Mike, I want to come to Clinton House and shoot a mile with my new gun. I promise you that. I worked with Mike at the Gathering one year. And I actually have shot a mile there at the Clinton House and got my T-shirt and my coin to prove it. So that's
nice.
Great for that. That was my definitely on a bucket list to do that day.
Well, if you're bored this weekend, we got a PRS match going on out there this weekend. Yeah, this weekend. It's out at Clinton House. So
I would love to. I got Power Slap 6 to watch on Rumble, and I've got. If you don't be laughing at me. Power Slap is an amazing sport. If you can find it on, it's really fun to watch. A lot of drama there.
It's fun to watch the highlights. I will give you that. I will watch those for a full minute.
Oh, they have a whole series about the fighters before they get to the main event, and it's something I watch. Me and my wife, when I'm home, sit down every Wednesday night at 7:00 and watch it on Rumble. It's amazing to learn the show.
That's the thing where they literally just sit there and take turns. I slap you, you slap me, right?
It is, but it's organized and it's 3 rounds, and then championships 5 rounds. So it's not just there's a lot of rules, there's a lot of technique, and there's a lot of things. Dana White runs this with a TK group and every TKO group. And it's not just what you think about just watching people slap the dog crap out of each other, but it's, if you lift your foot a certain way, if you don't hit them in the right spot, there's fouls. And if you commit 2 fouls in the same match, you're disqualified. So there's a lot of technique and a lot of people who you think are going to make it to the next round, but don't have the right technique. But watching people get slapped silly and go into full mode, it's great to watch. So it's an amazing show. So definitely check it out. It's exclusively on Rumble, by the way. So definitely check it out.
All right. Just a reminder again, if you're sitting here watching us live, share this stream someplace public where I can see it. There's a lot more shares than I can see, so make sure if you shared it, it's to someplace public where I can see that you shared it for a
Awesome.
chance to win a cert from Hunters HD Gold here at the end of our show.
I got some surprises for you. It's going to be good. You might want to share it. I promise you. You might.
And set the post to public. If you don't know how to do that, underneath it should have a little world instead of a little thing that looks like two friends. Because if you just share it to your friends, then it shows us that something was shared, but we don't know who shared it.
Yep. Because if we get prescription orders in, it only takes 2 or 3 days to turn them around. It's quick. So it's not like you're waiting 2 or 3 weeks like you do at your eye doctor. We're the manufacturer. We do everything in the house. It's pretty cool.
Nice. So what was the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series?
Oh, wow. Thanks for bringing that up. The Hunters HD Gold Cup Series is something I could actually do with any shooting sports. But I went to the, what it was is there was the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series was done in collaboration with the United States Practical Shooting Association in one division and the Steel Challenge Shooting Association in the other division. So it was 2 different ways to win the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series. We actually had 2 cups. It's a traveling trophy I'm going to have. Each winner, which we announced already on our live on Rumble, you know, the USPSA winner was Kevin Leonhardt. He won $1,000 cash, and he won his slot to his choice of nationals. And the Steel Challenge winner was Ron D. Out of Florida, and he won $1,000 cash from Hunters HD Gold and his 2 slots that we had to the World Speed Shooting Championship. What got this started is I wanted to find out a way to reach shooters at local matches and a way to get more people involved. For an example, the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series in USPSA is for level 1 matches only. So it's not good for your state match results. It's not good for your nationals. It's only good for, you know, your local matches at your local club. And tier 1 matches is still challenged the same way. So basically, I worked with people behind the scenes there on a scoring system, and I caused myself a lot of work, a lot of work keeping up with it. But it was worth it in the end. And we're going to, you know, we're going to do it again, Hunters HD Gold Cup Series 2. But it can be used for other shooting sports as well. Just like the AG Cup. I got that right, I think. They do a PRS. It's the AG Cup space system.
Different format, but similar idea.
But I would love at some point to have the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series for Metal Madness, the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series for Rimfire Challenge Shooting Association. In the future, there's no endless possibilities of things I can do with this to build the shooting sports, or even the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series for PRS. If there's a way to do it, I'm going to figure out how to do it in the future. And I went to Sherry, my wife, who owns the company, and I said, hey, I need, $2,000. And she's like, what for? And I had to go what we're doing, because, that's, it's something that we came up with. No other company came in and said the cash, but we were lucky enough that through the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series, Vortex Optics stepped up big time, and we have a lot of giveaways from Vortex Optics throughout the year. We had a lot of giveaways from Real Avid, and other companies. But at the very end, IWI stepped up based on me having a solution or needing a solution for A class, B class, master class, grandmaster, or in all these different categories of Steel Challenge and everything. And they actually donated some guns that were able to give other people that won their categories free guns by IWI. So Jeremy Grisham stepped up in a big way to help me go through my anxiety of how this is really going to work and what this is going to look like. And working close with Jake Martins at USPSA, because we're going to start this again in April. Because last year it went June to November, and we had some qualifiers. This year it's going to start in April and go through November. So we're going to do it again. And it is very exciting of how it turned out. And when I do the awards ceremony, at the World Speed Shooting Championship in Vendors Alley, Vendors Row, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna have a big celebration of what Ron has won and some other things I have behind the scenes that he's going to get to. And I've already seen some of the stuff that I ordered, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, I wish I'd have got involved. Could have a chance to win some pretty neat stuff, and may even need a ring size before it's over with. So there's a lot of cool stuff for the future to get some really cool things done for the Hunters HD Gold Cup Series. But it was designed to grow the shooting sports at the very basic level of level 1 matches in USPSA and tier 1 matches in Steel Challenge. That's what it was designed for. And to celebrate the people that are shooting the local matches and let them have a chance that may never go to a state match. They may never go to an area match, and they may never go to nationals, but they get to participate in something that was known nationally throughout the entire United States, to be able to play in this little program that we had that they could do at their local range. And it was really cool, great success. And huge shout out to the people at USPSA for helping me promote it and getting behind it like they did. I couldn't do it without their support. So I'm looking forward to working with other shooting sports in the future. So if you have a plan, let me know, and we'll figure it out together. So I'm excited to be able to do that.
Well, I have a plan personally. You need an intern, because as someone that played right in the series, one, it was fun, right? I shot 4 nationals last year, but it's still fun for me to do like these local things. But 2, the numbers that the people won with, like the amount of matches they shot was insane. It was so big. I can't imagine you doing that again. So
yeah, because somebody may have said in June, like, yeah, I want to do this. And they submit their scores, and then they don't submit them anymore. I'm like, there's okay. And then some people submitted 2 or 3, and you had to submit 5 scores during that time. And if you submitted 4, you weren't in the match, you weren't in the game. It had to be all 5 of them. And then once you broke down everybody who actually got all 5 times, then you had to break down numbers from it was a lot of fun to do during the Christmas season. When I was not in Florida at matches, it was a lot of fun. So. A lot of fun.
So I've got one more question. This is one that I thought of, like I thought I would ask everyone, but I really want to ask you. If you can only go to competition or you can only hunt ever again, which one is it? Is it competition or hunting?
Well, I think this calls for a new sport called hunting competitions.
You mean a Mexican match?
It's actually called NRL Hunter.
Yes. I love to hunt. I love being out in the woods. I love to relax. So if you're asking me on a personal level, then it's gonna be hunting, because that's what I do. I love to get out there. If I don't even see game, I don't care. It's time to get away. It's peace. I can relax, and I'm one with nature. And if there's something there to harvest that God puts in front of me, then it's time to harvest. That's the way I look at it. Period.
Right.
On a business standpoint, I'm not making any money when I'm hunting. So competitions is what I've got to be around for competition. So I can answer that question both ways. Personal wise, will be a hunter. Business wise, my whole life now is based around competition shooting. So I hope that's a sufficient answer.
All right.
Do we have any lives?
I hope so. I know we had some.
Oh my God, we have so many.
There's so many lives of people saying
why you don't like wearing eyewear. That's what I want to know. I want to overcome your objection. So if you don't tell me why you're not wearing eyewear, then that's what this show was supposed to be about from the beginning anyway. We took over it to a different direction. Why don't you wear eyewear? Speak up. We're not going to shame you. We just want
Brian wants to fix it.
I want to educate myself. So if there's objections that it's something I can fix with a lens, then we need to overcome those objections. Why do you not wear eyewear? That's what I want to know.
I'll tell you what I've heard, and it's exactly what you heard. It's guys saying that they spent $5,000 on a scope and they don't want to put some cheap glass in front of it.
Then don't.
So it,
Hunter's HD
yeah,
Gold is cheap.
exactly. Exactly.
William just said foggy lenses and hot Texas summers.
And we talked about that as well. That's where, you know, you got to use an anti-fogging agent. Z-Clear makes one.
Yeah.
If you use it, it works great. But like we talked about, when you first get there to the range that morning, and if you go to the line, and everything else, and you pull your eyewear, protective eyewear out of a cold bag, you're going to fog up immediately. So you have to be in a situation like when you get out of the car, put your eyewear on immediately. And that way your body temperature heats up the lens and will cause for less fogging as well. Because like we talked about before already, your heart rate may be a calm 67 to 87 beats per minute. But when that, right before that beat goes off, it jumps to about 120, 130 real quick.
Yeah.
So that's what's causing your face is going flush on your very first stage. And that's what's causing the fogging as well. But if you have your eyewear on from day one, or as soon as you get out of the car, then that should help a lot with the fogging Z-Clear. That's why we give Z-Clear away with Hunter's HD Gold. We try to do I can do anti-fogging in-house, but it's another heating and cooling process of the Trivex, and we didn't pass ANSI standards. That's why we don't do it in-house. And even when we do it, I can do anti-fogging in-house, but then you got to have this cloth that you use. It's a special cloth, and that just causes a lot of issues. So we're working with Z-Clear out of Utah. His name's Chris Ward, who owns the company. He's a two-way guy. He's a guy that supports the shooting sports. He supports me. He shares posts, and he just got into Walmart. So Z-Clear is the way to go for your anti-fogging and cleaning lenses. That's my sales pitch for them. So
Yeah.
but it's a great. I hear it all the time, so it's not invalid. What other ways is that any other ways they're not wearing it? What we find
Nah,
out?
the other big one is always if you've got the thick top frame and you go prone, you're always looking at your frame instead of through your thing. And
Right.
I personally, I just tell people aviators are the light in the way. You just get the aviators, that solves the bar on top issue, and that solves the fogging issue.
And we just came out with a frame that we released 2 weeks ago called the Marksman.
Yep.
And the Marksman has an adjustable nose piece on it where, like, say I'm here, but if I squeeze the nose piece in, it can actually raise it on my nose. And that
Right.
raises the lens higher so you're not going into it. So that's the Marksman. We came out with that. Working on if you have a frame that you like and it's a reverse semi-rimless frame, we can make those as well. In other words, it's got the frame at the bottom. and
Oh
there's no-
yeah.
There's no lens at the top. I'm actually, let me go back to Hunter's HD Ruby real quick. We are designing a shotgun lens. We're working on
Right.
it right now. We're working with a company out of Colorado to get something made out of Taiwan. And we're working on that as we speak. And when I get this shotgun lens, which trust me, I've looked at a lot of lenses and the frames, and excuse me, when I get the shotgun frame done, that's going to be the game changer for the shotgun world. And it may be the solution for PRS world. I don't know yet, but I do know what shotgunners, I have fun with shotgunners. Hear me out for a second. I went to a lot of shotgun matches back when I was doing this, and they're wearing their hats and everything else. They're like going, and they're wearing a great brand of frame that everybody knows about. A lot of high-end shooters wear it as well.
Yeah.
And they're like, I just don't like any rim across the top. And I said, okay, cool. I said, show me how you get with a shotgun. They got their hat on everything. I said, what are you seeing first, the bill of that hat or the rim? Yeah. They don't like me too much when I call them out, but I've had my fun with some shotgunners because the brim of that hat, they noticed before the frame they noticed. So I've got, I overcome objections like that. And not everybody thinks I'm cute, but it's okay. I have fun with it. But all kidding aside, don't, listen to this show. This frame may not come out till third or fourth quarter. When I say we're designing a frame, I don't even have the prototypes in my hands yet.
Yeah.
So this is the process down the road. But I'm listening to each and every one of you. There's a reason why we came out with the slingshot and we came out with a Marksman. and the B-rays. I'm listening to the shooters, trying to find the safety frames for shooting sports. And before I came around, is all about the frame. Nobody cared about the lens. Now everybody cares about the lens, and not all of our frames are great as far as sexiness goes. And I get it. Vanity is very important in everything we do in PRS. I've seen it. I've been there. Yep. Y'all some
You're looking right at me.
no,
Live life for the gram.
anybody who can wear a scarf and shoot at the same time, Corey, has got it going on.
You know, at one point I had a fake cigarette, so I'd be a real photographer.
All kidding aside, I want to. I wish I had a solution for everybody, but right now I have the lens solution, and frame solutions are coming more and more. Yes, the Aviator is very popular as well with PRS, but it's all what you get used to. This is what I mean. You have we got busy in January because the shooting sports and action shooting sports hasn't really started yet, based on half the world being frozen. But we've sold a lot during this time because people are now training with new equipment to come in. And if you train with this and you go shoot a match with this, the eyewear is the least of your problems. Mm-hmm. It goes away. You don't notice it. But when you're standing at a tent or you're doing something like looking like here in the room, well, I see everything here, but you're not focused on what you're actually doing with that firearm. Once you get focused on a firearm, everything else goes away. And I think, you know, Greg and Jen and also Corey can testify to that as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, I wear glasses all the time. I don't do contacts because I do dumb things and I prefer to have a piece of something in front of my eyes while doing dumb things. But yeah, I just don't even notice it until I like Jen says, I'll be at the restaurant and she'll be like, "You're still wearing your shooting glasses," and I'll take them off and be like, "Oh, it's not as pretty in here as it was before."
That's something else we've done. We've actually made upside down bifocals for people shooting long range. So they're on their scope for distance, and the bifocals on the top where they can see their turrets up top.
Yeah.
So
I might actually have you do that next time, just on my right eye. Even I still need some bifocal at the. I don't know if you can do bifocal at the bottom, distance in the middle, and then just a thin row of bifocal at the top. Because
yes, we can. We can do a digital round at the bottom, which would be a digital cut, and do it on a bifocal at the top. And we can do that as well. There's if it can be
freaking wild. It's so crazy.
My turret numbers are getting smaller and smaller. I'm not sure how that's happening, but they are same scope, but they're shrinking.
It's winter, so they're colder and smaller is what's happening. Wait till summer, they'll get bigger again. Don't worry.
We talk about eyes again?
Yep. Definitely eyes.
Making sure. Anyway, I'm going back to Florida next week, and I'm going to stay warm. So,
any more lives?
Yes, lots of things planned. I'm in a situation where I've already recorded 4 podcasts so far. Hunters HD Go Behind the Lenses season 4 is going to start in March. I've got a new camera that I'm on with tonight that actually has a situation where I can do up to 20 optical zoom from a camera. So I'm actually going to be able to set lives up from events and have a 20 times optical zoom to go into bays and see what's going on. With the streaming we're doing now as well through StreamYard, I can actually send up to 10 people a link from their phone and actually have 10 people on different stages and with their phone live with microphone and everything. And I can stay back at the Hunters HD Gold tent at the producing directors of what's going on and go from camera to camera with other people that want to get involved. So I've got a lot of plans to do lives a lot. I didn't do a live this past weekend at the the IPSC Extreme based on how it was set up, and I did not have my entire thing set up for that match. So, but next week I will be going live, and I go live exclusively on Rumble. And if you don't know what Rumble is, I'll give you a quick thing. There's links all over my website how to get there, but Rumble is the alternative to YouTube. They are not shadow banning us. when it comes to promotion of the shooting sports, showing a gun. I can have a gun and talk about guns, and they're not shutting the feed down. I'm not getting strikes. I'd have live YouTube feeds shut down if I showed somebody's banner based on copyrights, because or if somebody's playing music. Rumble doesn't do that. Rumble's allowing a lot of people who have been shut down in the past to come back and have a free place to talk to, based on politics. It's a lot of stuff on there about politics. There's a lot of stuff on there. Gamers are using it now. It's got everything on there, but no porn and no violence. So I'm fine with that. But there's a lot of stuff on there with a lot of people, a lot of gun tubers, and other people are moving over there based on the other company, that YouTube, that's starting to shadow everybody out and shut them down. So I've chosen to go exclusively through Rumble, and we're doing some live events with working with USPSA and Steel Challenge as well, where they've allowed me to actually, post directly to their social media platforms as well. So we do that. So there's going to be all kinds of ways to learn about the different shooting sports, just like y'all are doing in PRS, which I'm excited that y'all are doing more and more of that. And I've watched it when you were in other countries doing it. So I'm a big fan. So I watch you, and I try to learn some takeaways on things that you're doing in your show, so I can make my show even better. Because I know I just, all kidding aside, I watch what people are doing and what works, and let's make it great for everybody to see.
Agreed.
The more we work together and learn from each other, the more we can grow our sport.
Oh, no, that's what it's all about. The shooting sports is growing. And I say this a lot on my channel is, we know we have the right to hunt. We know we have the right to protect ourselves. But if it wasn't for the shooting sports, we'd be in a serious situation with our Second Amendment more than we knew. Because there's a lot of people out there, especially talking to people in other countries, that don't have the Second Amendment, and they don't have the shooting sports like we do here in the United States. So don't take it for granted. Get out there and promote the shooting sports.
All right. So we're getting down to our live drawing. Remember, if you share this someplace we can see it, the live stream, we're going to be looking to draw a winner here in a minute. We did have one more live question from Tyler, asking about polarized versus non-polarized looking through a scope.
Great question. And the biggest thing is I never made Hunter's HD Gold polarized. And it was my personal preference, because when I made this lens back in 2014, 2015 for myself, I had everything at my disposal. And the reason we didn't make it polarized is, to me, it took away the red reflective optics and stuff like that on some of the pistols and rifles and stuff I was shooting. Some people shoot with polarized, and that is wonderful. The reason we didn't make Hunter's HD Gold polarized was because it took too much away from some of the stuff we needed to see that polarized blocks out. So that was my experience with that. That's pretty much the only way I know to answer it. But if you're in Florida and other bright areas, polarized lenses, it's pretty much all people can wear. And we have made solutions on one-offs where if somebody says, I need this to be polarized, then we'll work with it, and I'll make something out there that's not going to be to the public. There may be an extra surcharge cost that comes with it, but if we can make anything. But Hunter's HD Gold is not, and we've had no reason to make Hunter's HD Gold over the past 5 years from all the feedback that we've had. There's been no need for polarization looking through your optics or your scope.
And on that note of being able to make anything, William commented, and I'll shorten this a little bit. He used to work at Southern States Optical with his dad, who owned Spectra Optical back when he was in high school. He knows way more about this technology than he should, but he's still always impressed at how much Hunter's HD Gold can pull off, like your triple level bifocal. It's just super cool.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that feedback. Good stuff.
And Joseph Paul has an idea for your upper bifocal. He said you should start marketing them as the high focals.
High focals. I like that.
So that's a good one. You might should write that one down.
Well, he's He's probably on a tower right now, you know, changing out a light bulb on a cell phone tower. He's the guy that he wears active blue out in Texas, and he'll send me pictures every once in a while where he's a lot higher than I'd ever want to be, hanging from a
Yeah.
cable. He used to be my contact at Ely, so Mr. Joe and Joseph and I go way back. So, and we just helped some shooters. If you didn't hear from the Philippines that left the Ramo, Joseph, so thank you so much for helping support me with Ely when you did. So, good
Also
stuff.
the best and worst mustache in USPSA.
Yes, that's awesome.
All right. So what do you say we do a quick drawing here?
How many shares did we have, Greg?
So in between those of us on the show, we've shared it 6 times in between us, but there is a total of 31 shares. But
31.
six of them are us.
All right, so take out 6, and that leaves something else.
25.
25.
25. Let's give away. So you need to draw 3 people, and we're gonna give 3 full, complete $400 certificates for 3 pairs for free, completely free, with or without a prescription.
All right. That is an awesome offer for our people watching.
I appreciate you having me on tonight on this platform. It really means a lot to me. So let's make some people happy tonight. 3 people.
All right. So I have 31 here. And so what I'm doing, I have a random number generator up on one, and my list of people who shared this open. So we're going to hit generate. And our first number is 13. So I'm going to go down this list. 1,
13.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is Mr. Gary Bolin. Gary Bolin. Let me write this down so I don't forget.
Got it.
All right. Now we're going to go random numbers again. Generate is 21. So we're going to start out at Gary. That's 13. 14.
While Greg is counting,
15.
William cracked me up in the comments.
Fuck.
He saw me laughing.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 was me. All right. Gonna go again.
Just do one more, Greg.
Oh no, this one is 12. This is 12. So this is the one before.
It's painful.
So before Gary, that's William Conley. Conley. William Conley.
Conlan.
Conland like Conley.
There's a reason that I have to say the names every week on the show. I'm saying.
Listen, y'all think this is bad? You should have seen me in Italy.
Hey.
Oh.
All right.
Ooh.
Next one is number 16. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16. Shane Scott.
All right. So we got 3 people that have won $400 certificates for anything they want off the Hunters HD Gold website, lens related, correct?
Mhm.
Yep.
Now, hear me out. You can only do this during the show, because if I get emails after the show, it's not going to happen. So if you watch it all the way through this, everybody who emails Brian, BRIAN, at huntershdgold.com right now, through the end of the show, I will send a $200 certificate to.
Hold on, it's BRIAN at huntershdgold.com. Oh, it's in my contact list.
Oh.
That's what I say. Why are you acting like you don't have this?
This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for your PRS shooters watching the show right now to get a pair of Hunters HD Gold at over half off.
But you gotta
Email.
do it right now. And not on the, if you're watching this tomorrow, so only
oh.
tonight.
On the emails I get between 8:34 or 8:30 and 9 o'clock tonight. We'll give them some leeway. I have to get an email for the next 30 minutes.
And that's February 6th.
Yes. Yes. Now,
So,
Gary, William, and Shane, you all need to email me as well. And I will get this, and that way I can get information from you so I can mail everything out, or do this where I don't mail everything out. We just have conversations or email. Because I'm home this week and I'm gonna be not busy during the day on Saturday before the Super Bowl. So I'll be able to do this. But yes, I want everybody, especially in PRS, and there's other people watching on the show that's not PRS. I recognize a lot of them, but I want your PRS shooters to have an opportunity to try these at a discounted rate, if not for free, based on who does more. And this is what I do to sponsor things, matches, and everything else, and to help more people get the word out in the PRS world about what I'm doing for the shooting sports and for the PRS shooters. And I need your feedback. If you get a pair of these and they don't work, or they don't work like you thought they were, excuse me, this is not a time to be bashful. We need to have a discussion about it, because this is the only way I can grow my company, is to be better and learn from people that aren't happy, just to put it out there. So let's find a solution together for PRS. And if it's not the Hunter's HD Gold lens, which I kind of think it is, but if there's some one-offs out there, I need to know about them, like Corey.
Yeah, I'm a little weird. Sorry, bud.
You're not weird. You're a scientist. It's just a whole nother personality of.
Scientists are pretty weird.
And it's a Texas A&M thing as well.
There's a spectrum of scientists, you know.
yeah, I feel like they have certain buses for y'all.
Yeah, I got twin turbos on them buses.
Yeah, probably the most reworked engine of any bus ever on the planet, if it's full of engineers. They've all been altered, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many matches, Jen and Greg, do y'all go to a year in PRS? If you had to just throw a quick, I'm just curious, is it more than 10, less than 30? How many matches y'all do a year in PRS?
So I probably go to 20-ish a year.
Okay. It's a lot.
Yeah, because I run a match every month, and I go to at least one other match most months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I support your local matches too, Greg. So fill out that form we talked about, and I'll send some certificates to you there as well to give
All
out
right.
to local matches. I support local matches as well. Don't have to be a state, area, or national event. I sponsor all types of matches. Jim, what about yourself?
So I haven't been shooting as much because life happened and I got married and then moved into a house and all that. But this year I'm starting back shooting more 22 matches.
Nice.
Because Damien's getting into the sport also, and it's easier for two of us shooting to do 22 than it is to do center fire. That's expensive. So we cover 2 or 3 matches a year. And then previously I was going to 8 to 10, big PRS matches, but we'll be shooting Greg's local matches. Probably 10 of those this year.
Very cool.
All
Yeah,
right.
Michael Bain uses Hunter's HD Gold to do some 22 precision matches. That's some pretty neat stuff. Shooting a golf ball at 100 and something yards is crazy to me, or the size of a golf ball. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's a good way to get kids into the sport. And yeah,
And 22 precision rifles are not cheap either.
no,
You know,
two.
they don't have to be expensive, but
No,
man,
they
they
don't.
can get there.
I've seen some get there.
Like mine started out as a cheap build. I got a $600 rifle, $400 scope, and I was like, this is perfect. This is all I need for this. Swap my bipod back and forth, and now this is my center fire behind me, but the guns look identical. They both got Vortex razors on them. They're both in PDC custom chassis.
It adds up, definitely.
Well, the shooting sports as a whole is not a cheap sport, and or any of them. And but what you do get in return for that experience, to be it a hobby or when it goes to be your sport, is the friendships you will make outside of your local churches or families or anything else. You're going to build a whole nother family of people to hang out with, to have conversations with, to be able to discuss life with. And I think that's very healthy of what we need, because we found out during 2020 what it's like not to have other people to talk to. And
Yeah.
suicides went up, a lot of things went up because people don't have people to talk to. And there's so many people out there willing and wanting to help you grow in whatever sport you shoot. And that's what it's all about. And I love the shooting sports. The whole thing is just exciting. I'm excited to come home after I've been gone for a while, and I'm excited to get back out and go again, because there's so many new people to meet, and my whole another family to go see on the weekend. So it's a lot of fun.
Definitely is. All right. Are we good on the comments?
Yeah,
Any more of those we
definitely.
need? We're good. All right. Well, I think we can wind it down to shout outs. We will start with Corey.
Well, I'm going to shout Brian out because he has been the same nicest person in the world since I met him, I think back in 2018. So he has never changed. He has been the same super cool guy, and I love hanging out with him. So thank you for doing everything you do for the shooting sports, dude.
Very welcome, Corey. Feelings
That's
mutual.
impressive that he's been dealing with you for 6 years and he's still nice.
I've actually
You know,
won. I've won money on the bets people had against this, so it's all good.
They're like,
You
oh man,
just-
you're working with Corey. Mm.
if you just start out with, "Hey, I'm sorry, I have a question again," everyone's cool with it. They know who's it.
Yeah,
They're
Corey,
like, Brian, it's Corey again.
uh, yeah, Corey has opened the doors for a lot of people for me to meet in the industry, and I consider Corey one of my personal friends now, not just an acquaintance. And I'm very thankful for all the doors that Corey's opened for me. And JP being one of those doors a long time ago when the JP5 first came out. So between him and another guy together, they've opened a lot of doors up in the areas I never would have been involved in. So much appreciated.
All right. Corey, when you weren't here last week, I was like, okay, let's head to shout outs. Greg, we'll start with you. And Greg was like, oh, I was waiting for you to call Corey first.
It's a nerve-wracking experience.
It really is. You don't understand how traumatic this is to us.
Not sure why, but okay. I've been doing it for forever.
433 episodes or something like that, right?
Yeah, 431 episodes. Greg, what you got for shout outs?
All right, I am off mute. I didn't even have to click it. Go me, I'm good. So,
Attaboy.
as always, Hunter's HD Gold, because I could actually see stuff, which is a constant struggle for my blind self, and it has been for a long time, and it really helps. It's kind of like an HDR filter for your eyes. It's just great. Gotta holler at Vortex for other awesome glass, and then PDC Custom for some sick rifle chassis.
Ian, what you got?
Oh, I apologize. You said Brian. I just misunderstood. Yes, I got some great sponsors I want to call out that work really close to Hunter's HD Gold. Make Ready Nutrition. Discount codes listed on the Instagram page. Hunter's HD for most of these. For Make Ready Nutrition, 25% off. A lot of stuff I do for recovery and hydration and stuff like that. Go check them out. Real Avid has been really great. Like I said, all the tools in the back of the van people can use for free, take to a safe area. I got some new things that people are going to be able to use this year to take to a safe area and do cleanings and everything else I just received the other day. And RAHHDG will get you 10% off them. Excalibur Ammunition is a new ammunition company out of Florida that is fixing to come in and take over the shooting world by storm. And I'm excited to work with them. And if you need ammo, if you need some good stuff out there, Hunters HD will get you free shipping by this company. I just signed a big deal with Ghost Holsters USA out of Florida, and they got a lot of stuff for on action shooting sports. Using discount code again, Hunters HD will get you 15% off of their stuff as well. And of course, IWI, Israeli Weapon Industries. Jerry Grisham has been very gracious to Hunters HD Gold throughout the years, and HDG 15 will get you 15% off from them. And make sure you check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and it's at Hunters HD Gold. And of course, check us out on Rumble, where our podcast and everything, Hunters HD Gold Behind the Lens, is going to be there exclusively doing live events at all the shooting sports that I attend in 2024 and beyond. So thank you again for giving me this platform tonight to talk more about a shooting sport that I'm not always around, and what that looks like, and how we can get more people involved in the education of eyewear and what the lenses really do make a difference, and why Hunters HD Gold is what it is today. So thank you so much.
No problem. And for my shout outs, I'm going to do like Corey. I just want to shout you out for coming and spending time on the show with us tonight, and also for being such an advocate for eye protection. I'm an ER trauma nurse, and I have taken care of a lot of eye injuries, and they are my least favorite. I would rather you have a limb hanging off, or we crack your chest and there be a beating heart. Eyeballs protruding out of people's heads has never been my favorite thing. So thank you for trying to educate and advocate for iPro, because I think it's very, very important also. So with that, that will be a wrap for episode 431. Don't forget to, if you made it to the end of the show, don't forget to email Brian. And you got to get it in in the next 14 minutes. So that's before 10 o'clock Eastern time, or 9 o'clock. What's that other time? Central time.
College Station time.
College Station time. That's
There you go.
right.
That's Roll Tide time.
Greg.
That's right. So you have 14 minutes to get the email in, and you can get $200 off a pair of these beautiful HD Gold glasses. So everybody go get them, protect your eyes, and we will see y'all next time.